and we think about things differently, and we think about things like more in depth. So I feel like when people say like, oh, if he wanted to, he would. Well, like, no, why can't you just tell him? Just tell him. Why is it so hard? I hate when girls like expect guys to like read their mind. So I put a poll on Instagram and asked you guys like what topics, and it was a tie between two. So I'm just gonna talk about one that I feel most prepared for today. Um, if he wanted to, he would. This is gonna be an unpopular opinion, and I bet the people who voted for it did not think I was gonna like have this type of opinion about it, but I hate that. I literally hate that phrase because I think it's bullshit. Like, okay, maybe in the beginning of your relationship, like 6 months, we'll even stretch it to a year, but there are certain like expectations that you don't have to like lower or not have anymore, like in a partner, in a relationship, whatever. But like you want to be, you know, given attention and you want him to do these things for you, whether it's like opening the door, bringing home flowers, not for an anniversary or not for a holiday, not because he messed up. Like there are things that you can want and that's fine. But I feel like you kind of know early on if he's not going to be that person, right? And like, ladies, let's face it, guys, they're stupid. And that's not mean. They just don't think like us. Like, they don't have the same mentality as we do, and we're more mature than them, and we think about things differently, and we think about things, like, more in depth. So, I feel like when people say, like, "Oh, if he wanted to, he would." Well, like, no, why can't you just tell him? Just tell him. Why is it so hard? I hate when girls, like, expect guys to, like, read their mind. Like, when you feel some type of way or, like, let's say you want flowers every day, or not every day, every week, just because, or like you want him to plan a date night every couple months, like solely him doing it. He prepares it. If you have kids, he gets the babysitter, he handles it all, and you don't want to worry about anything. Why can't you let him know? Now I'm saying you let him know once, and that's it. But, and then if he can't do it, okay, then there's an issue. That means like you're telling him black and white what you want. And you don't have to be a bitch about it. You can just tell him what you want, like what you would like done differently, or like what's important to you and like makes you feel loved. You let him know. And then if he doesn't do it, then that's like another problem within itself because it's like then he just doesn't care what you want. So he doesn't care, I guess. That's what I would say about that. But like for me and Zach, we've been together since high school. We have 3 kids together. We've been together over a decade. We've been dating for like 12, 13 years. We've been married for 7, whatever. If I'm wrong, not my problem. Whoops. But um, we're not the same people we were when we first met. We're not the same like individual either. Like he's not the same Zach he was when we first met. I'm not the same Brit I was when we first met. And like overall as a couple, we are not the same. Thank God, because we are so much better now. But it's because as you grow with someone, your perspective and things that are important to you and the way you communicate, the way you handle things, everything changes. So who am I to when I first started dating Zach, I hated flowers. Like I'm like, don't get them for me. I don't want them. I don't like them. Don't get them for me. I just moved to Germany a year and a half ago, almost a little over a year ago. Now all of a sudden I like love flowers. I'm like this earthy girly and I'm like, I want all the flowers all the time. And that wasn't something he was ever used to. So it wasn't like a habit that he was like consistently doing for me. So I had to let him know, like, hey babe, so you think you could like occasionally always get flowers for the table? Like I just want a fresh thing of flowers. It doesn't have to be fancy. I don't even care if you pick it in the field. I just want flowers. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay. That's it. That's literally all you need to do. And So that's like something small, right? Now let's talk about something, I guess, bigger, like about effort or making you feel loved in other ways. Sorry to my mother-in-law and whatever, cover your ears. Sex. Most guys, their love language is physical touch. So that's how they feel loved. For females, I know for me, it's acts of service. And not like, you don't got to be my slave. Like, just like make me feel loved by doing things around the house so I don't have to do it all by myself. And kind of just like do things without me having to tell you, essentially. So, you know, me and Zach struggled with that for a very long time. It's like he would only feel loved when I would sleep with him or when I would be all over him and make out with him, whatever. And I'm just like, I don't have that in me, especially when you're not giving me what I need. Like, I don't feel fulfilled. So, like, I'm not going to give that to you. And we struggled with that, like, for a while because, like, when you're parents, you become parents, you, like, lose yourself in parenthood a little bit, and you kind of forget about each other almost and yourself, but more we're talking more about, like, being in a relationship. So, you know, by the time kids are in bed, I don't wanna do anything, and, like, he gets upset over that because he's like, "Well, like, doesn't want me, like, she doesn't wanna touch me, like, I don't understand, whatever." So, like, that causes, like, a friction because then he's gonna not do anything for me either. So, like, Zach and I had to communicate for a very long time, like, figure out, like, our happy medium, like, "Babe, I need you to come home and just, like" I don't wanna have to tell him to, like, do the laundry or check the laundry, or like vacuum the floor, but like guys just don't think like that, right? Like especially someone who's home. When you have a person who's home, they handle it all. So it's like you don't really like you don't do that all the time. So it's not like on your like checklist, like mental checklist. So I was just like, babe, I just need you to come home and just be like, hey, is there anything you need me to do for you to help you out, help lessen the load on you? And like, bro, that's so attractive. Are we kidding? Like, yeah, meet me upstairs. That's what I need you to do. But no, it's like you have to tell them what you need to feel fulfilled. And like I said, you don't have to tell them 5 fucking times. You can just tell them once, and that should be enough. If they care about you and they love you, you tell them what you need and what you want. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna do it. Because like I said, men don't think like us. So just let him know what you need. There's no shame in it. And it's not like, oh, he should just figure it out. No. Like when we're like, think about it. Women and men. When women are scrolling through social media, we see like picture perfect relationships, right? We see these guys doing these like gestures for these women. And that's kind of like what our algorithm is like romance and men being like Prince Charmings and great dads and blah blah blah. Well, in all reality, it's fucking false, right? It's a show. Now there are some men who do that, and that's fine. Great, kudos to them. I don't care. But a lot of times, that's giving us such like a false like reality. Like, wait a second, what's going on? Like, how is this man treating this woman like this and being like this? What well, why isn't mine doing that? Like, what the fuck? What am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? So then it's like we spiral into like resentment and like because we don't want to speak up, I guess. I don't know why we're ashamed or feel like we don't have to speak up. Um and then you take a look at the men's algorithm and like for my husband it's WWE wrestling videos, sports, and like pizza, like everybody knows the rules, whatever that stupid freaking thing with Dave from Barstool, and like that's it. It's, you know what I mean? Or cooking videos. Tell me why he's this man is always watching cooking videos and sending it to me. It's like this looks fire. Or like funny cat videos and dog videos. And he like cackles on the couch for an hour. That's the type of algorithm most men have. Um So they're not seeing like all these like videos of these men acting like Prince Charming. So they don't like essentially know that this is like what they're supposed to do. Or like, and I'm not saying they're assholes, they're not. Like they just don't think like that. And it's fine. Um, but back to like you I hate when people think that they shouldn't ask or tell someone what they need and that they think that people should just read their fucking minds. I grew up in a house, in an environment, multiple houses, with people thinking like we can read their mind on what they want done, like chores, because we were their slaves, but we can't read your mind. And that creates such a toxic environment and like a wall. It creates such a wall. And it's like, I want A, B, C, D, E done and whatever. And like this person's not doing it for me, but I'm also not telling this person I want them to do it for me. So now I'm going to become pissed off and a raging bitch because they're not doing what I need. But you didn't let them know. Let them know what you need from them. It's, and I feel like people like in relationships that have been in a relationship for a long time, their needs were different when they first started dating or being together. So once your needs change and like things like kind of like shift a little bit for you, just let them know. And like same thing, like I'm sure like it goes for guys and girls. Like some girls just don't put it in either, but I'm talking about my situation because that's what I can relate to. And I just know like the biggest thing Zach and I dealt with was like figuring out like our happy medium and like learning how to communicate in healthy ways. And for me, unlearning unhealthy behaviors because I never saw like a healthy relationship growing up. So I thought growing up that the man was supposed to eat before the kids and like the woman was supposed to make the man's plate and serve the man and come home and the house was clean and dinner was almost done and the table was set and his clothes for work the next day were ironed and like, you could eat off the floor, and, like, basically, you were this man's slave. That's literally the type of relationships that I saw. Not no, unhealthy, not okay. We ain't doing that. I used to always tell Zach, "Not anymore. I don't wanna be your mom. I'm not your mom. I don't wanna be your mom. I'm a mom to 3 or 2, whatever." 'Cause we had these issues, like, before Derek, I would say. Like, we still struggle. We're not perfect. We still definitely struggle. Some days are harder than others, but I'm like, I don't want to be your mom. Like, I'm your wife, not your mom. And he's like, I don't understand why you say that. And I'm like, because I feel like I'm doing everything for you and you're not even like giving me a little bit, right? And he's like, well, I don't know what you need. You don't tell me, Britt. Like, I can't read your mind because that's something I always used to say about like my family. Like, they think we can read their mind. We can't. They get pissed off and it causes a huge fight. So if he wanted to, he would. Well, if he wanted to, he would if you told him. So, unless he doesn't care about you or respect you, then you're shit out of luck and just leave him, I guess. I don't know. Because it's like, if they don't want to do the things that like matter to you, then that's just like a whole nother issue. And it's not going to change overnight. And it's when I say like you should only have to tell them once, you might have to remind them here or there because it's not in their routine yet. It's not their like habit, right? Like they've been with you for so long, they know what makes you happy, they know what doesn't make you happy, and they know like what they need to do for you, blah blah blah, whatever. But now you're asking for something different, so it's just like any habit, it takes a little bit. Um, but communicating with that person and you don't need to, you just like I know for me it's like I stay home with my toddler. The girls go to school, whatever. I do appointments. I do like a lot of stuff on my own, which is okay. I'm okay with it. I do a lot more in the house than Zach does, which again, I'm okay with it. Um, because he works. He's up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He works like not a desk job, like, he works hard, damn fucking hard, a lot harder than he should, whatever, I'm not gonna get into it, but he comes home, he's tired, right? So, I know that I do a lot more around the house, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that, but he's appreciative of it, like, he doesn't disrespect me about it, like, he'll come home, and if I wash the floors, you bet your ass that man is gonna tell me, "Oh, babe, it smells so good in here." And I'm like, "Thank you. I appreciate that. I know." But it's just also happy medium, right? If from like my scenario, I stay home. And like I said, my husband wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we struggled recently. He would come home and want a nap, like just sit on the couch and nap. And I would become so triggered because I'm like, wait a second, we're going back to our old habits. What are you doing? This is not okay. And he was like, "I'm tired, Britt, like, do you not understand? Like, I'm so tired." I'm like, "I am too." "Well, what do you mean? Like, staying home's not easy. Like, why are you trying to, like, make light of my situation?" Um, because it's okay to be a little bit crazy sometimes, it's fine. Like, we all have it. But, then we communicated because that's a beautiful thing in a relationship. And now we've, like, came to found, like, our middle ground, and he'll come home and he'll nap for like 30 minutes on the couch. Not nap, just like lay down for 30 minutes and decompress for 30 minutes and then we're good. And in that 30 minutes, I also try not to do things around the house. If I have to, it's fine, but I'll like take that time. The kids just go home, like whatever. Um, but I'll try to also not do anything. So like if I'm doing stuff and I see him on the couch, I'm like my eye starts twitching. But it's like then after that 30 minutes, we're good, like, and we start cooking dinner and whatever, and it just works for us. Like, I'm not saying that they should just come home and not do anything and sit on the couch because that's not fair, right? Especially if you stay home. But if that man's tired, figure out what works for you guys, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. If you don't also let them decompress from their day, it's just you guys aren't gonna have like a good rest of your evening together. So I just like it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Some people might not agree with it, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck. You're not in my relationship, so move along. But that works for us. And yeah, now when that man gets a cold is a completely different story. Like I want to strangle him. I'm like, bro, you have a sniffle. You're fine. It's okay. But I don't believe in the he wanted to, he would. Just let him the fuck know. We're not 16-year-olds, right? We're adults. And just like if you were at work or like your job or whatever, if you wanted a promotion, wouldn't you just wouldn't you go about it and like voice that you wanted that? Would you just expect these people to read your mind? Well, if you expected your boss to read your mind that you wanted a promotion, you're never going to get a promotion. You need it to advocate for yourself and what matters to you. Just let them know. And I guarantee you, your relationship will be so much better. It will be like blossom and grow because when relationships grow, as long as it's growing in the right direction and in a healthy direction, it becomes like untouchable, like unmatched. Like me and Zach were unmatched, untouchable. We're not perfect, but like we're best friends and we are a team. We figure it out. Like being away from family, it really like molded us into like a team and figuring out what doesn't work, what works, trial and error, and just putting each other first. And that's it. Also, a tip if you do have this conversation with your partner, because you're like, that makes sense. I want to have this conversation with so and so tonight about like my needs changing and what I need from them to feel loved or whatever. My friend Jenna, shout out to Jenna, Zach and I were, like, having, like, just struggling with, like, keeping up with the house and stuff probably about a month ago. Like I said, we're not perfect. I went to dinner with her. I'm like, "Jenna, I don't know what to do." Like, I feel so defeated. I feel like he doesn't wanna hear me. I feel like he's not hearing me when I'm talking. And she's like, "Britt, like, you talk loud. Like, you can talk at, like, a higher volume. Not that I'm screaming, but I do talk louder than the normal person." Whatever. But go when you go home tonight, if you want to tonight, but when you go home, when you go to bed, shut the lights off, lay in bed, and have a conversation. And I'm like, "Jenna, what? In the dark? Like, that's weird." She's like, "No, it works because you can't see their facial reactions, body language. They can't see yours either." Because, like, for me, it's like I was, sitting, talking, expressing myself, and Zach's just, like, looking at me. And I'm like, "Yo, are you gonna express any expression on your face? Like, I'm confused. Why are you looking at me like that? Don't look at me like that." And then I would see, like, his body, he would move like this, like, move his arms and, like, or sigh or something, and I'm like, "Are you annoyed? Am I annoying you by telling you my feelings? Like, see, this is why I can't tell you my feelings, because every time I tell you my feelings, turns into a fight." But I will say, being in that dark room, lights off, nothing around, no noise, laying in bed, not looking at each other, magic. It's pure magic. I don't know what I just know that, like, we were able to talk, and my husband struggles very much with opening up, and that's all I'm gonna speak on that, but struggles with opening up, and that man opened up, and we were able to have, like, this long conversation, and, like, I don't know. It was, like, wild, honestly. I was, like, mind blown. I, like, texted Jenna, like, the next morning, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, dark rooms work." And she's like, "See, I told you." And then, yeah, good therapy hack. I don't know, but it works, and it works really well. So if you wanna talk to your partner about this stuff, like, things changing, you need something different, you want something different from them, um, also be open to their needs changing too, right? Like, ask them, "Is there anything that I'm not doing for you too?" Like, is there something that you wish that I would do to make you feel loved or to make you feel appreciated that I'm not doing? Because it's about them too. It's not just about you, you selfish ass. Like, wow, that was really selfish ass. Okay. But it's about them too. So ask them in a dark room, laying in bed, don't look at each other. Let me know how it works because I think it's going to work. I think that is a game changer. And it's all because of Jenna, not me. I ain't taking credit for it. It's from Jenna. So, like I said, let me know if it works, and he will if you ask him. And if you tell him, he will. If he loves you, he will. Same thing goes for you. So, all right. See you next week. Maybe with a guest. Probably not, but it's fine. I'll just be by myself talking to you guys.